This is my Yamaha R1. Well, some of it anyway. There's more in boxes over there and there's some bits and pieces down there. I won this on an eBay auction and it had already been taken apart for me, which was very nice of the previous owner, so thanks for that. I think everything is here. I need to sort through it all today and see where we're actually at with this bike. I know what I want to do with it. I want to do a complete restoration. I've always wanted an R1. It's one of my favorite bikes of all time. And this was so cheap that I couldn't pass up the opportunity. I think it was like 700 quid, something like that, which is probably one of, if not the cheapest R1 ever sold. But yeah, what I want to do first really is put the suspension back on the frame, because then at least I can move it around. It's being a bit of an inconvenience at the minute because it's taking up all my workshop desk space. So yeah, let's crack on with that. I'll pull the frame off the table, get the front forks on it. Oh, I need to find the rear shock. I think that might be in a box over there somewhere. Right, let's crack on. Now this should hopefully not be too much of a tricky job, because the bolt for the rear swing arm is still in it, so I don't have to hunt around and find that. And the, what's it called, triple clamp yoke assembly on the front forks is also still kind of assembled with the nuts attached to it, so I don't need to rummage around and find them. So I'm going to put the front on first and then kind of tip that and sit it on the floor. So let's do that. Move this box of bits. It's quite heavy. Now, this isn't me reassembling the bike for its final finishedness, obviously, because I want to do a full restoration on this bike and I want to get it back to as new condition. So I'm just going to finger, this is literally for the purpose of me being able to move it around the workshop, because at the minute I'm kind of a bit stuck for space. Right, there we go. If you're new to this channel, then you will hear me often say I should have put gloves on. Maybe that can be my new slogan. If I get some t-shirts made up with I should have put gloves on. I definitely should have put gloves on. Oh well. What's done is done. Do you know what? I'm going to put this down and put some gloves on. Now I've got gloves on, which squeak. I can put this on. Which way around does that go? I think the forks still have... I could turn this into a unicycle. I feel like this is not the easiest way to do this. Okay, slight change of plan. Well, massive change of plan. I'm actually not going to put this back together because I've just realised I'm going to have to whack all the bearing races and stuff in. So the outer ring for the actual ball bearing bit needs to be bashed into the head of the bike there. So instead of bashing them in and then having to bash them out again to replace them at a later date, I might as well just not put this back together, because I want to paint the frame, I want to paint the swing arm, I want to paint the wheels, I want to refurbish the front forks, which probably don't need much doing to them. They look all right and they're not leaking, so I'll probably just leave them as they are. But there's no point in putting this together just to take it apart again. So what I'm going to do is actually take it apart further so I can store it a bit easier. And I need to sort out a pile of bits that need to go to the body shop to be painted. So let's do that instead. Okay, with the rear swing arm, let's take the wheel out of it first, which, well, everything is just finger tight because I think it's just been kind of put back together just so it can be stored. That's going to come crashing down, isn't it, when I take this out? There we go. Now I can look at the service manual to figure out how all this goes back together anyway, so I'm not too fussed about remembering. This should just come off. Oh, it's got one nut on it. There we go. Excellent. That's a good looking rear sprocket. I think we'll no, we'll get a new one, because I don't know how old this is and I don't know how worn it is. Will the cush drive come out? Is that just sat in there on this bike? Normally they just pop out, don't they? Am I missing something here, or is it just stuck? No, I'm not missing anything, it's just stuck. And then obviously all the rubber bits fall out as well. Okey-doke. Check them on the table. These are actually all they're very kind of hard. They're supposed to be attached together in pairs, but every single pair has actually broken. So we'll get new cush rubbers for it as well. That is as apart as I can take the wheel for now. Aha! Right. There is more to come out. There we go. Wheel completely disassembled. So what I'm going to do is get a bag, put all this in a bag, label it rear wheel. Then we can have a look at the front suspension. There we go, all bagged up. The two square anodized gold things I wrapped up because I didn't want the anodized getting damaged, because I might want to keep them gold. So let's get a label on this bag, and then, oh, this bolt also needs to come out. These will go in a separate bag anyway, because that will need to be labeled rear swing arm assembly. Come on. There we go. Right, rear swing arm assembly, rear wheel assembly, and then let's get the front on here. Let's get this wheel out from these forks. So there should be a pinch clamp. Okay, it's on the other side in there. So let's undo that, and then hopefully I can quite easily, tell you what, bang, just lay it down like that. Right, let's take this pinch thing out and then hopefully undo that, and the wheel should come off. That's the plan anyway. Solid plan if you ask me. So this is quite a nice set of hex head things. I got these when I was doing the GPZ because I kept borrowing them from the garage around the corner. Oh my God. And hopefully that's the right size for that one. Oh, it's already loose. It's not even pinched. I'll be surprised if this is tight. One tubey thing. I don't know the name of anything, do I? Okay, well that now, yeah, excellent. Right, let's do the wheel first. Buzz off the nuts for the front discs and put them somewhere safe, because I'm pretty sure that these discs, I can just use them. There's not really any sort of lip on them. Yeah. Okay, bang, 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 bang. Buzz, 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 buzz. Why does that one's all rusty. And that it's almost like that's the wrong size. Now I'm going to have to find something to hammer into there, because that is just foobarred. And this is where the old trusty impact driver comes in handy. So this is a manual impact driver. You got to make sure it's in the anti-clockwise motion, and then effectively you smack it with a hammer, and when you hit it, it puts downward pressure, whilst anti-clockwise pressure or clockwise pressure, depending if it's a left-hand thread, and hopefully it will release the screw, but it doesn't seem to want to play ball. Ow! Okay, that didn't work and it's made it worse. So now we've got an even more rounded off screw. Plan B, or is it plan C? I think it's probably plan C by now, isn't it? This is a problem. Let's give up on that side for a minute and go back to this side, because at least then the wheel will sit flat when I'm trying to hammer it. Just realised the wheel won't sit flat. I'm talking nonsense, because that makes no difference to the position, how level the wheel sits, because it's actually sitting on that. Oh well, whatever. This is plan D. These are actually designed for nuts and hex heads that you bash these on externally. Now, these screws are domed, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get enough of a grip with this type of socket on it or not, but we can try, can't we? Because if I can, these should grip it in such a way that it will come out. Let's give it a go. It's working! Wow. Got it. So, Ashley 1. Silly little screw, 0. Thankfully, the thread in the wheel is still okay. I will run a tap down each one just to clean them out anyway, because these are probably going to want some Loctite on them when it comes to reassembly. Now, you can't blame me for using this and rounding the head off this in the first place, because it was already pretty much there. And if you notice, every single one of these screws, you see how shiny they are? This one, look how... Okay, so ignore all the damage I've caused to it, but you can see around the edge it's actually gone all rusted and corroded and stuff, and I don't really know why. Yeah, these are even like shinier on the inside. This is a different bolt. If you don't have a set of these in your toolbox, I would highly recommend getting some, because, well, these have saved my bacon many a times. This particular set's made by Irwin. I'm sure there's other manufacturers out there. They certainly don't support this channel, and this is not a sponsored thing. I'd just like to tell you guys what I actually use. Onto the forks. I want to get the forks out separately, because then we can look to getting them cleaned up. And I would like to obviously spend a bit of attention cleaning up the other end as well. Out you come. That looks kind of a bit battered, doesn't it? And also, I don't have a key, because the key that it came with doesn't fit in this barrel. However, this actually just seems to have hex head screws in there, so that'll be easy to swap out. Now, I believe these are actually already loosened. Yes, there we go. As a top tip, well, I don't know if it's a top tip or just common sense, but you can make your life a little bit easier by popping a flathead in there and opening the gap a little bit more to make removing the fork from the triple clamp a little bit easier. There we go. And repeat the process on the other side. Voila! One triple clamp headstock thing. So these actually look pretty good, to be honest. No obvious damage or dents, and they don't appear to be leaking. And there's definitely fluid in there because you should be able to hear it running around in there. Okay, result. Now I've got all those bits separated, let's have a look through the rest of the parts for this bike to see if there's anything else that I want to get down to the body shop. What's inside box number 1? Well, we have the exhaust, a random selection of nuts and bolts and stuff, the fuel filler cap, the wiring loom, which is obviously going to be pretty handy, along with the HT leads and coil packs. We've also got the switch gear and the fuel pump, which sounds like it's still got a little bit of fuel in it. One mirror, I'm not sure where the other one is. Brake calipers, so they're the front ones, and the rear one is here. I'm not sure what this is yet. I need to figure that one out. Rear brake, master cylinder and foot peg assembled together, including brake fluid still in there, which is pretty cool. Now, the rear shock, I'm not sure if that is supposed to just easily come off there like that. I think this might be maybe something to do with it. Not sure. Yes. Rear disc, did I say that? Rear disc, I don't know, but there's pads and stuff. Obviously, we'll get new pads for it anyway. Very nice looking gold chain. Not sure if I'll use this one or buy a brand new one. It looks to be pretty good condition, but I'll give it a thorough inspection. And the side stand, some other bits of plastic, and obviously the linkage mechanism for the rear shock. So that's what's in box number 1 of many, but looks like we've got a nice big selection of parts here. This is box number 2, and it's literally just got plastic fairing bits and pieces in it. So I'm not going to empty that out because that's just later date stuff. The exhaust manifold is also in there, and it would appear to have the exit valve blanked off. Before the wheels can be painted, I need to remove the dust seals and the bearings, as well as the tyres, because let's face it, if you try and paint a wheel with a tyre on, you're going to get paint on the tyre and you're not going to be able to get fully in there properly. So let's crack on and do that. First off, let's get a simple flathead screwdriver and just lever out that. Easy as that. And then getting the bearings out, it's a little bit more tricky. You need to get probably not a screwdriver, like a punch in there and whack one side out, and then the second side is obviously a lot easier to get out because there isn't a sleeve in the way. Can you see that? Hold on. There you go. Inside there, you see this sleeve? That kind of stops you from being able to get in there on the other side of the bearing properly. Sorry about the terrible camera work there. Right, I'll try and demonstrate this. First off, get something solid like a punch. A flathead screwdriver will not suffice. Put it in at like an angle like that, and then hit this edge with a hammer, and that will move the sleeve ever so slightly to one side on the inside. And the result should be, if you see down there, you can just about see the inner race of the bottom bearing, which I can now use my punch to get on the edge of and tap out. Instead of a punch, you might have better luck with a extension from your socket set. Bingo! One bearing removed. 3 more to go. But I'm going to do that and then go to the tyre shop and get the tyres taken off. With the rear wheel, don't forget that once you remove the shaft seal, there is a circlip in there, so don't try bashing it with a hammer without removing that circlip, else the bearing won't come out. I've also put a socket the right size on for this side as well. Or if you like, you can use a professional set that's got all the different sizes in. To get the needle bearing out of the rear wheel, I definitely needed the right size, and this is 36mm diameter, so it should be able to get that out. Hey presto! Now I need another tool to get that off. Sorted! Today is my sister's birthday and I've popped to her house to install her present for her. Now she doesn't know anything about it and she's gone out for breakfast with my mum, who is going to distract her. She does have a Ring doorbell, so I'm hoping that my mum can be like, oh, don't worry about that, it's probably just a delivery driver. So I've got the key, let's go do this. Okay, I'm in, and I couldn't have timed it better. The next door neighbour literally walked straight past the front door at the same time, so I'm hoping if it did trigger her phone, then she'll just see him and not me. Right, I thought someone was here. I walked in and I can hear this like weird sound. I'm like, what is that? And turns out they have a robo vacuum. Look at this. I didn't know my sister was living the life of luxury here. This little guy just hoovering up the floor. Look at him go. Brilliant. Okay, so let's crack on with what I'm here to do. This is a pretty boring lampshade, right? So I've bought her a new one. Check it out. It's a monkey that literally hangs from the ceiling and holds the light bulb. Let's get it installed. What are you doing? I'm trying to work here. Like, just go back in the other room. Ugh. Amazing. Right, so I managed to fit the new bracket behind the old fitting, making the job very reversible if she doesn't like it. But I don't know why she won't like it. It's amazing. Now, is that or is that not the best ceiling light fitting you've ever seen? I hope she likes it. Hello.
Hello. This is
Do you like it?
I absolutely love it. Come in, waffle into mum. I was like, oh, I need a wee. I ran in, gone to the toilet, come out, and then I just went, hang on. It's how funny. I was literally in a shop the other day saying to my friend how much I hated the lampshade in the hallway.
No way, really?
Literally, and I was like, they were like, just replace it. I was like, I haven't found anything. I want something a bit quirky, a bit different. That is excellent.
Well, there you go. Nice. It's definitely quirky.
Yeah, but it's so me. It's so perfect. I'm so happy with that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll be honest with you, that was actually supposed to be a prank. I really didn't think she was going to like it. We kind of do that brotherly, sisterly kind of buy each other gifts that we don't really want. So I was going to, obviously, at a later date, like go and put the lampshade back on and actually take the monkey light and put it in my garage at home because I thought, oh, that'd be really cool in the garage. But no, she loves it, so it's staying in her hallway just inside her front door. Well, I'm glad she likes it, to be honest. She is my sister and I do love her. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching this episode. I will catch you next time. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will catch you next time. Cheers.